From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Louie B.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Monday, May the 6th, 2022. 36 days until the Ticats open their season against the Riders in Saskatchewan. Just over a week until training camp is set to kick off. And thanks so much for joining us here on the Ticats Audio Network. Louie B recapping what has been a busy week in Ticats land. They kicked it off with a trade on Monday. We'll get to that in just a second. That led into the Global Draft, happened Tuesday afternoon. We had the National Draft, happened Tuesday night. Thanks to all the fans who came down here to Tim Hortons Field to celebrate a new era of Ticats football with the class of 2022 Tuesday. If you weren't able to join us, we missed you, but you can catch the full show, the full broadcast available on the Ticats Audio Network. It was great to have, first of all, caretaker Bob stop by, say a few words. It was great to be back with my buddy Andy Fantuz, Courtney Stephen, Rob Hitchcock, Dane Evans stopped by, Simone Lawrence, Alden Darby, Chris Van Zyl. We talked to Kyle Saxlid, one of the newest members of the Ticats. So it was a really fun night, and you can relive the magic on the Ticats Audio Network with our 2022 CFL Draft special, available wherever you found this show. Mentioned, it has been a busy week, and I guess I really shouldn't say that anymore because it's just going to start to pick up even more from here. Next week, we have rookie camp. The week after that, we have training camp. Training camp leads to preseason games. Preseason games lead to the regular season. And yes, 36 days until the Ticats return to the football field for points that count, June 11th in Saskatchewan against the Riders. By the way, single game tickets for the Ticats. You want to come down here to Tim Hortons Field? Single game tickets are now on sale. So you can go to ticats.ca. You can call your local Ticats ticket reps. A bunch of great people in that department all waiting to take your calls to make sure you can see as many games possible from the best possible vantage point here at Tim Hortons Field. All right, as mentioned, it has been a very busy week. Want to make sure I don't miss anything this week. We're going to hear from most of the draft class from 2022 as we were able to catch up with just about everybody. But the guys we missed, we will get to next week. I promise you that. So we'll be recapping the draft class of 2022. We'll be joined by most of the draft class. We'll hear from Kyle Saxlid as he joined us on Tuesday night. We'll hear a little bit from Bailey Flint. He was the kicker that was selected second overall in the global draft. So lots to get to. So let's start it off as we normally do with the news and notes around the Ticats this week. And cheating a little bit with the draft, but let's keep you up to date in order as the Ticats announced on Monday that they had acquired offensive lineman Kyle Saxlid and linebacker Grant McDonald, both nationals, and the second overall selection in the 2022 CFL Global Draft in exchange for the number 8, number 28 overall selections in the 2022 draft and the number 9 overall selection in the 2022 Global Draft. So, basically, Edmonton Ticats flipped picks in the Global Draft, and the Ticats got 2 players for 2 draft picks. To sum it all up quite easily, Kyle Saxlid, very veteran CFLer. He's entering his 3rd season in the CFL. He started a bunch of games at different spots across the offensive line. Grant McDonald coming off a fantastic rookie season in which he recorded 16 special teams tackles as a rookie. I believe that was top 5 in the category. So Ticats really excited. And I will admit, I have friends around the CFL. I know you probably started laughing when I said I have friends, but I have friends around the CFL who follow the game pretty closely. And the amount of text messages I got on Monday night when this trade was announced, asking how quickly the Ticats hung up the phone when this deal was offered to them. A lot of people around the league thinking the Ticats got the better end of this deal. Farhan Lalji had a tweet that I'd retweeted this week. And 2 national players with CFL experience in exchange for 2 draft picks. And, I'm sure the number 8, Trey Ford, is going to have a great career in the CFL. I'm sure the 28 selection, whoever that ended up being, is going to have a great career. But the Ticats feeling really happy about the 2 bodies that they brought back in this deal. Let's hear from Kyle Saxlid. He was able to join us on our draft special, and we happen to have Chris Van Zyl at the desk with us as well. And here's a little bit of their exchange from Tuesday night.
It's been quite a roller coaster these last 24 hours for me there. I'll tell you that. First off, once I heard the news, first thing in my head is like, hey, I'm coming to a winning team here. I'm immediately in contention to get me some hardware on my fingers here. So I'm super excited for that. And then next thought was, my old O-line coach, Coach Gibby, is there. Oh, buddy, it's going to be great. He's going to yell at me all season to get my positive footwork and this and that, you know. Oh, I can't wait. I called him almost immediately after. I was like, let's go, buddy.
We got Chris Van Zyl up here. And Chris, you know a thing or two about Coach Gibson and the way he likes to work. How much does it help having a guy like Kyle coming in here who knows Coach Gibby and what to expect come day one?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool to have somebody who's been under his coaching for a year or two. And first and foremost, I've welcomed you through text, but wanted to welcome you to the team, and we're excited to work with you. And I know I've spoken with many of the offensive linemen already, and we're all excited to meet you and welcome you in. And you're part of a pretty special family. And the fans, I'm sure, are really excited to meet you as well and see you out there. Back to Coach. You know exactly what he's going to demand of you, and it's nothing short of extraordinary. And we kind of demand that of ourselves as offensive linemen. It's a technical position, and we're looking forward to seeing your work ethic and what you put forward on the football field as well.
That is Kyle Saxlid and Chris Van Zyl as they joined us on Tuesday night. A couple of offensive linemen for the Ticats. Looking forward to seeing them both in camp in just a few short weeks. And Kyle Saxlid, of course, part of the deal on Monday that we broke down for you. Another part of that deal was moving up from number 9 to number 2 in the CFL Global Draft that happened Tuesday afternoon. And with that number 2 overall pick, the Ticats selected Australian punter Bailey Flint out of the University of Toledo. Played 50 games with the Rockets over 5 seasons. He's a native of Melbourne, Australian, and was a back-to-back nominee for the Ray Guy Award as the NCAA's top punter in 2020 and 2021. And we had a chance to catch up with Bailey after the draft Tuesday. You can catch his full comments on ticats.ca. But here's what he had to say when I asked him about how he got his start in gridiron football, because I know with Joel Whitford, the Ticats' other Australian punter on the roster, he said he transitioned from Aussie rules football to gridiron football, and I wanted to know if Bailey Flint had the same sort of journey to the CFL. Here's what he had to say.
So I actually started playing football initially back in 2015. I played for a local club, 9-on-9 football in Australia, and I played cornerback. And then after that, I played for the senior division, 11-on-11, played cornerback. And then I went and played for the Australian team in the Down Under Bowl. And then I got an opportunity to play high school football. I played high school football for 1 year in Utah. I played right tackle and D end. And I was 260 pounds.
Wow.
So I was a big chubby kid. And then I lost all that weight, got all done with that. And I actually kind of gave up on playing football because I didn't think I was going to be able to go to college. And then through Pro Kick Australia, they relit that fire under my feet and gave me that opportunity to go to Toledo.
So pre-2015, I mean, did you play rugby? Did you play Aussie rules football, or was it just 2015 you decided this is what I want to do?
I was big into computer games and skateboards. So I didn't play very much sport growing up. I would do, at school, I'd play like at recess and lunch. Yeah, I'd mess around and play certain things, but it took me a long time to grow into my body because I kept shooting up, getting tall, and I was really, really clumsy growing up. So I never really grew into my body until I was about 18.
That is Bailey Flint, who the Ticats selected with their 2nd overall pick at Tuesday's Global Draft. Also, the Ticats selecting another Australian punter with their 3rd round pick, selecting punter Blake Hayes. He played 57 games over 5 seasons at the University of Illinois and wrapped it up with Latvian defensive lineman Ralphs Rusins, who played 4 seasons at Liberty University. Of course, Liberty University, where former Ticats head coach GM Kent Austin currently coaching at. So a little Ticats connection there with Rusins, the Ticats' 3rd round pick in the 2022 CFL Global Draft. Okay, so we got the trade behind us. We got the Global Draft behind us. That leads us into Tuesday night's CFL Draft, and with the Ticats trading out of the 1st round, trading the number 8 overall pick to the Elks in that deal, we decided, to host a party, not knowing that the Ticats were going to be trading out of the 1st round. So we didn't have a whole lot to talk about in terms of draft picks, but when we finally did in the 2nd round, the Ticats selected Anthony Federico out of Queen's University, a defensive lineman, number 17 overall. He played 3 seasons at Queen's. He's a 6'4", 240 defensive lineman. He had 87 total tackles, 20 and a half sacks, 1 pass breakup. He also was invited to play at the University of Buffalo's NFL Pro Day in 2022. He has been a busy guy, and the Ticats were really excited that he fell to him at 17. He's a Niagara Falls, Ontario native. And we had a chance to catch up with him. You can hear our full conversation at ticats.ca. But Anthony was someone who's got an interesting journey to the CFL, like all players do, but decided to trace his journey. And here's a little bit of our conversation from earlier this week.
So growing up, I actually played for the Hamilton Hurricanes before attending Queen's University. So while I was with Hamilton, I was able to talk with with the Ticats and learn a little bit about the organization and meet Drew and everything like that. So when it came down to going to the National Combine and my interviews, talking with Drew again, I think right there and then in both ways, it felt like this is home for Anthony Federico, and he needs to be wearing the black and gold come this fall.
Now, tell us about your game. Do you model your game after somebody, or are you just Anthony Federico? Is that who you are? But how would you describe the way you play football? Yeah,
I'm a relentless guy, a very high motor guy. At Queens, Coach Snyder teaches us, you don't stop until the double whistle goes. And throughout my time at Queens, I've always kept that mentality. I bring it to every single game, every single situation in the game. And then when I look at myself as a pass rusher and the way I stop the run, I really like to model my game after like Joey Bosa in the NF for the Chargers. And then another guy growing up I really admired was Samari Lawrence. So I'm going to be super excited to be playing next to him, learning from all these guys like Mason Bennett. And yeah.
And that is Anthony Federico, the Ticats' first selection in Tuesday's draft. That happening in the 2nd round, 17th overall. Federico, Niagara Falls native, out of Queen's University, playing the defensive line. Ticats didn't have a 3rd round pick in the draft, trading that in the deal with the Elks. So with their next pick in the 4th round, 37th overall, the Ticats selected Kiondre Smith, a wide receiver out of the University of Guelph. He played 25 games where he had 50 catches for 612 yards and 5 touchdowns. Native of Markham, Ontario, also recorded 45 kick returns for 822 yards and 112 punt returns for more than 1,000 yards and 1 touchdown. And very pleased to be joined by Kiondre Smith right now. And Kiondre, congratulations on being selected by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Take us back to Tuesday night. Were you thinking that the Ticats were going to take you with their pick in the 4th round?
I'm happy to be in the Hammer. You guys have great fans, a great support system in the city, and, good coaches, people I'm familiar with growing up, and Orlando Steinauer, who did end up playing with my father. So it's still like walking into home, a comfortable situation.
Yeah. Did you get any sort of hint that the Ticats were going to want you, or did you feel like during the interview process that, okay, this might be a good fit, or were you caught off guard or maybe surprised a little?
I felt like my interview went well. I really did. It was a fun interview. It was a good interview, got everything out of it, but there was no hints dropped off. There was no information kind of passed back and forth. I was really in the dark going into this draft. And when I heard that I was called by Hamilton, it was just ready. It was a dream come true.
You played your game. You played your ball at Guelph, your college ball. The receiver coach, JB Jared Baines, he played his college ball at Guelph as well. And you also got selected with your teammate as well, with Jared. What was that moment like? I understood that you guys watched the draft together. So what did it mean to get drafted alongside your Griffins teammate?
I was of course amped to have a teammate. Jared's a teammate that you don't want to lose. He's a great locker room guy, great for morale, great teammate, and personally, he cares about each and every one of his teammates as well. So it's not a teammate I was ever going to be happy to lose, and I'm happy to keep him with me for as long as I can.
What was your draft night like? Were you nervous? Were you watching every pick come in, wondering when your name was like? What was your experience like on Tuesday?
I tried to keep the nerves at a minimum, because I didn't want to worry about anything that was out of my control. But as the round started going through, the nerves kind of did start to creep in. But as soon as I got my name called, I was as excited as I could be. It's a lifelong dream, something I've worked for as long as I can remember. And so there's nothing to complain about in that moment. Everything was good.
And I've talked to a lot of guys who've been drafted, and there's the people who celebrate, who admit that it's the culmination of a lot of hard work. I get the sense that you understand that it's the beginning of a lot of hard work.
I understand that although I am picked and I can call myself a professional, I haven't done anything yet. And I plan on working my ass off, my butt off to improve and to make sure I can make my name in this league instead of having a name that comes before me and my father. Yeah.
And you bring up your dad, and I understand your dad played defense. You're playing offense. Was that from the get-go? You wanted to differentiate yourself from your dad, that you knew if you were going to make it in the CFL, it wasn't going to be because of your last name?
Immediately, I chose the opposite position, and that was on purpose. Yes. It was good to kind of be able to pick his brain, know how defenses are taught, know the kind of the coverages, rules behind that kind of stuff, so I can understand the defensive side of the ball and how it can help me play offense. But he's been a great mentor, been a great teacher, and I'm happy to have his support now.
Yeah, and your dad, of course, Pee Wee, who played a long time with the Toronto Argonauts. How does he feel about his son being in the black and gold? Was there a little bit of awkwardness when the Ticats called your name?
I think it was more so just a smile. It was a knowing smile, but I know he supports 100%. I will get him in a black and gold jersey 100%. So it'll be kind of fun to see him in different colors, and I think it'll be kind of a moment for him as well. But he was a Ticat at one point in time. So
yeah. Now the Ticats with their youth sports receivers, Tyler Turnowski, they mentioned their receivers coach, and Jared Baines, a former Griffin. Where do you see yourself on this offense? What are you hoping to get from the rookie camp, from training camp, right into the season?
I'm hoping to learn from the vets I have around me and the rest of the guys in the locker room, to learn and absorb as much as I can. But I want to make the biggest impact I can as soon as I can. I didn't come into this league to be someone who's average. I want to make a name for myself, and I want to be a Hall of Famer, and I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I see myself at the back end of my career. Looking back, I'm someone that's been a multiple-time champion, a multiple-time All-Star, and someone who's known around as a good team guy to be around. I just want to have people remember me in a nice light. People want to remember me have a good memory about me instead of anything negative.
Now, it was just announced this week that the Toronto Argonauts, speaking of Toronto, speaking of Guelph, they're going to have their camp up at the Griffins facility there. And the Ticats have a preseason game against the Argos. What would it mean to you to get to line up in a CFL game at Guelph Griffins Stadium? What would that mean to you?
It would kind of just be a nice moment, everything coming full circle, to see the place where I started my college career, also where I started my professional career. Yeah. So it kind of be everything coming full circle. I could have a lot of my close friends and family around who were in the area of Guelph, so they don't have to move too far. And I think it'll just overall be a great day.
Kiondre, what do you want to tell Ticats fans, either about you or a message about you coming? What do you want to tell them? This is your floor.
You guys got someone who's committed, who's committed to the city of Hamilton, who's committed to making the Ticats great, continue to be great, and who's prideful to wear black and gold every single day, and someone who's going to make an impact on your team.
Well, we can't wait to see you make that impact, and can't wait to see you down here at Tim Hortons Field in a few short days, I guess, for rookie camp. So once again, congratulations, Kiondre. And again, can't wait to see you here with the black and gold.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
That is Kiondre Smith, who the Ticats took in the 4th round, 37th overall in Tuesday's draft. All right, moving on to the 5th round. Selected 46th overall. The Ticats didn't have to go too far as, once again, just going up Highway 6, getting linebacker out of Guelph, Jared Beeksma with the 46th overall pick, a teammate of Kiondre Smith, and very pleased to be here with us now. Jared, congratulations. Kiondre had just mentioned your draft party Tuesday night. Take us into the room. What was that like? How did it all go down?
Yeah, our football team put on like an event. We had a few draft eligible guys in that room. We had like a big meeting room at University of Guelph. So I was actually in the room when Kiondre got drafted. So that was pretty cool. And then my name kind of trickled down and I got drafted. So we were pretty fired up. 2 guys going to the same place. It was electric. I mean, I was with my family, had the same roommates for 4 years. So they came by. It was all hugs and kisses. It was a great environment to be with the team, with the coaches. Yeah, it was great overall.
Now, you've had an interesting couple of months. You were at the regional combine, then you get invited to the national combine. Was there a switch somewhere in that time, maybe before, during, where you thought, okay, like I belong here. This is where I'm supposed to be?
Yeah, I felt like I kind of entered the regional with a bit of a chip on my shoulder. I felt like I kind of belonged with those national guys, but didn't let that get in the way of where I was in the moment. Took advantage of my regional. And obviously it punched my ticket to the national. I felt like I walked into national with kind of a level head. There were some guys that kind of might have been their first combine, but it was a lot of the same environment. So I felt like I was pretty calm throughout the national combine. I felt like I did well, and then obviously did well enough to get my name called. So I felt through that whole process. It actually worked in my favor. And yeah, I got my name called by the Ticats.
Now, growing up in Cambridge, were you going to Ticats games? Did you cheer for the Ticats? I mean, this is pretty close to home for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've always followed. I don't know if you remember the score. They used to put on like University Rush back in the day. So I always followed those guys going into the Ticats. One of the guys I actually followed was Daly. Daly was the safety that he had like a score kind of like, I don't know what you call it, like special almost. He was mic'd up. I was like, oh, this guy's a nail gun. He's a sick guy. Followed him all the Ticats. I was actually he reached out to me when I got drafted. But then, as you progress through your years at university, you play against a lot of guys that end up going into the Ticats, being a local guy. A couple of my roommates his dad played for the Ticats. So Tyler Schultz, his dad played for the Ticats. So we'd always go to games with him. So just being around the environment, honestly, being so close, it's hard to avoid being around it. But once you're in it, you're just consumed by it. The fans are everywhere you go. So you just can't miss the Ticat culture.
Now, coming out of Guelph, you mentioned being at the party with Kiondre, but there's a couple of Guelph connections, especially at your position. We got Coach Jared Baines, the receivers coach. He was a star linebacker with the Griffins. Curtis Newton was a star linebacker with the Griffins. Coulter Woodmansey, a first-round pick last year. What's going to be like to have some familiar faces around here at camp come next week?
Yeah, I mean, the guys you just mentioned, Newton was one of the guys I actually mentioned in my interview. Like, I was talking about like who do you kind of look up to. I've maybe crossed paths with Newton like a handful of times. Like, we didn't really know each other. I think he was drafted in 2016, so a couple of years or a year before I even came in. But a guy I look up to, like specials guy, always getting after it, just a grit kind of blue collar lad. And I've really talked to him about that. But I'm just looking forward to like Coulter I've played with. Just looking forward to kind of seeing some familiar faces, guys that came from Griffin culture. Just looking forward to getting after it with those guys.
And now it was announced that the Argos are having their camp at Guelph. If you could get into that game, the Ticats have a game scheduled against the Argos that will be played in Guelph. If you can get into that game, if you happen to dress for it, what do you see yourself kind of visualizing as you run out of the tunnel there?
Well, it'd be definitely pretty comfortable. I mean, I've done it for 4 years, missed the year with COVID. But no, it'd be nice to be home. Definitely a lot of family friends will come out to that one for sure. I was actually snapping with Jake Reinhardt the other day on the Griffin Field. So the Argos are getting set up. He was there snapping. Me and Simon Shaves, he's going to Winnipeg, one of my teammates. We went out and snapped with him. So just being in that environment again, I mean, wearing different colors will be a bit different vibe, but I mean, that'll be home for me. So
what do you want to say to Ticats fans who are watching this or listening to this? What's your message for them before you get to camp?
Just look out for me, I guess. I'm looking forward to kind of learning as much as I can. I'm gonna be a guy to try to be a locker room guy. Just help fully involve myself in the culture. I'll be a blue collar grit kind of guy. Control what I can control, and just go in there. Hopefully, make some plays when I get the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, Jared, welcome to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Can't wait to see you in the black and gold here in a couple of weeks.
All right, thanks so much. Cheers.
That is Jared Beeksma, the Ticats' 5th round pick, 46th overall, out of the University of Guelph, as we're recapping what the Ticats did on Tuesday at the CFL Draft here on the Ticats Audio Network. Louie B here. Thanks for joining us. And a reminder to like and subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network wherever you get your favorite podcasts, because you don't want to miss out on all the great content we throw up on there, including a brand new episode of Morreale and Hitch, who this week were joined by Darren Flutie. Yeah, the Canadian Football Hall of Famer, Grey Cup champion here with the Ticats. Joined the boys on Monday, and it's a great episode. I recommend you check it out. Wherever you found this show, you can go find Morreale and Hitch featuring Darren Flutie this week. All right, back to the draft. We left off in the 5th round, so we jump to round number 6, where the Ticats had the 55th overall pick, and with it took Kadeem Pierre, a defensive back out of the University of Concordia. He's played 4 seasons there. He's a native of Ottawa, Ontario. He was an RSEQ Rookie of the Year and an RSEQ All-Star, a U Sports All-Canadian, and he's with us now. And Kadeem, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Take us back to Tuesday night. How did you celebrate? Where were you when you heard the news you had been drafted by the Ticats?
I was at my uncle's place in Ottawa. Just went back to see the family and wanted to celebrate with the family. And pretty much it was exciting. Like, I was watching the draft and I think I got my name called at 11. And honestly, I don't know how to describe the feeling. Like, it was really like surreal. And just being able to be there with my family, and it was really amazing.
Now, when you get selected, it's the culmination of a lot of hard work. It's the people who got you there, but it's also the beginning of a lot of hard work to be a professional. Let's start with the first part of the question, and it's who helped you get here? How did you get here? Tell us your football journey.
Oh, a lot of people helped me. Like, I first started playing at receiver, right? So, and I converted to defensive back, and from that point on, it was just like amazing. Everybody was surrounded. I was surrounded by it, just helped me, whether it be a little speech or just a motivational speech or just being there for me. And without them, I wouldn't be who I am today. So pretty much it.
And now to be a professional, you know there's a lot of hard work it's going to take. It's going to start with rookie camp next week. What are you going to have to do to either prove yourself here in camp or to get to that next level? What are you expecting in the next couple of weeks here?
Honestly, just being the hardest working guy in the room. And I think by doing that, I'll be able to achieve many great things.
That's awesome. You are the 71st player selected out of Concordia, but you're also just the first since 2011. What does it mean to you to represent, not just your school, but also that division? Because, when we talk about youth sports out in Quebec, we're usually talking about Laval or, some of the other bigger schools. What does it mean to represent Concordia like you are?
Honestly, Concordia has just been just fell in love with Concordia. Just being from a low, not a top school from like RSEQ, like you said, we see Laval or Montreal, and just being from Concordia, just part of the grind and just trusting the process, and just means so much. Just being drafted and knowing Concordia has my back and just being there to support me.
That's awesome. Kadeem, when you look at your game, you said you were started as a receiver. Now you moved to defensive back. How much did that help you in that transition, kind of knowing how receivers think? And who would you say you model your game after, or would be a good comparison for the way you play?
Oh, I think Ed Reed. I really love Ed Reed as a safety, like my favorite all-time player. Ed Reed, Sean Taylor, those two are really my all-time favorites. And just the transition was really smooth when I went from receiver to DB. And just because the fact that I love defense, like when I used to grow up watching NFL Network a lot. So I used to see all the all-time greats playing defense. I'm like, I might have to try that. And then a coach suggested it and converted me. And then, so his name was Coach Ron, and he really suggested me to play DB, and that happened.
That's awesome, man. And what do you want to say to Ticats fans who are watching this, who are listening to this? What's your message before you get to town here next week?
Ooh, the message is that we have to win that Grey Cup before I leave.
Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Hopefully it's when you get here. Kadeem. Congratulations. This is an amazing honor. And as you know, the hard work is just beginning. And I can't wait to see your journey in the CFL, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
And that is Kadeem Pierre, the 6th round pick of the Ticats on Tuesday, 55th overall out of Concordia. And we continue getting to know the class of 2022 Ticats draft class. And very pleased now to be joined by the 7th round pick, 64th overall, Nicolas Guay out of Laval University. He's an offensive lineman, a Vanier Cup champion in 2018 with the Laval Rouge et Or. And Nicolas, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. To take us back to Tuesday night, how you found out that you would be joining the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
It was a really great moment for me. I was at a restaurant in Quebec City. It's called Blackston. I was with other Laval Rouge et Or members that was eligible for the draft. And when I saw my name, I picked my girlfriend in my arms. I kissed her. I picked my mom. I picked my dad. I picked my sister. I was just so happy to be drafted by the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
What has this process been like for you through the combine, through everything else? What is this experience being drafted and now getting to work? Take us through what this last week has been like.
It was just a great moment all winter. Training for the combine, preparing, competing against the best player in the country, and now having the chance to have my name called on draft day and going to work at training camp with the Tiger Cats and again compete with the very best. It's just an honor, and I'm excited for that.
Now, looking at the offensive line that you're entering and looking at guys who have been drafted, who have come through the Ticats organization, obviously we have Brandon Revenberg, who's here, who's put a great career together. But what are you most looking forward to coming to Hamilton and getting a chance to learn from those guys?
I'm just coming in Hamilton at training camp for just wanting to learn new things and things that we didn't see at Laval, and just learn from the best guy like Jesse Gibbon. I watched him in 2019 getting drafted 2nd overall. So I just want to learn from these guys, and I just want to be the best version of myself.
That's well said. Now you have some championship caliber experience to go with your time at Laval in 2018, the Rouge et Or, winning the Vanier Cup, and in your own hometown. You are a Quebec City native. What was that moment like, and how do you use that moment as motivation?
It was just an awesome moment. We lost the year before in Hamilton versus Western, and we had a chance to have a rematch against them in our hometown, and we won that game. It was just an amazing feeling in front of our fans, and it was great.
And now you know what that feeling is like, and you know what it takes to get back to that level. How are you going to use that in the pro level?
It's just it. We learn so much in victory and in defeat in championship games, and I'm just gonna bring that championship mentality in Hamilton.
Now, on the offensive line, is there a spot that you're most comfortable? Did you play throughout the line, but where do you see yourself fitting in?
I played mostly center in my high school year and the college years,
and I played mostly center in my at Laval. So I'm comfortable with both positions.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that's such a huge skill in this game, and especially the Canadian game, being confident under center is such a huge part. Well, Nicolas, it was great to meet you. I can't wait to meet you in person in a few short days. I believe you're coming down for rookie camp next week.
Yes. So I'm coming home on the 12th.
Awesome. So what do you want to say to Ticats fans who are going to get their chance to see you in the next few weeks?
Hey, you can. I'm very excited to see all the fans, and you can expect a smart player and just a guy that's gonna give everything for the team and help the team win.
That's awesome. Well, we can't wait to see it, Nicolas. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
And that is Nicolas Guay. He was the 64th overall pick, 7th rounder for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. That left just one round left, and in the 8th round, 73rd overall, the Ticats selected linebacker Jackson Ciarolo Brown out of the University of BC. He's a 6 foot, 200-pound linebacker, played 17 games with 77 tackles, a forced fumble, 4 picks, and 4 breakups with the Thunderbirds. And how about this? A Hamilton, Ontario native. Love it. Ticats staying local with the 73rd overall pick as he played his football in high school at Cathedral High School. So very cool. We are still trying to connect with our friend Jackson, and we'll hope to get him on the show next week, because that'll do it for us today. Yes, you have met the class of 2022 for the most part. As mentioned, we'll get to Jackson next week, but thank you for sticking with us this week. Appreciate it. Thanks for all those who came out to the draft. But thank you. Make sure you subscribe, like, so you never miss an episode, and make sure to join us next week as we bring you a week full of content leading up to training camp, which is just a short week and a bit away. Hard to believe. Before we go, I wanted to give a shout out to David Butko, Little David. I don't know what they call him on Moriarty and Hitch. I think they call him Little Butko. But happy birthday, David. He's got a birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday to my little brother and one of our contributors here on the Ticats Audio Network. So shout out to them, and shout out to the Leafs and the Bulldogs and Forge, who are all in action this weekend. So lots of good stuff going on. Hopefully you enjoy the weekend, enjoy the nice weather. For the Ticats Audio Network, I'm Louie B. Hoping you have a great day.